Everybody,
Hey,
everybody. Hey, ooh, it's summer, and we're professional, and it's
we are
summer.
finally,
Yeah,
finally.
everybody,
I'm like,
gather around. It's time to tell a story. It's time. Come on, it's story time. Come on
well,
up.
kumbaya, kumbaya. Let's
Kumbaya,
go.
gather around. Bring the snacks. Sit around the fireside. Here we are.
Here we are.
1 year. Have
Well,
we
actually,
aged?
technically, 1 year is next week, but today is the 52nd
52nd.
episode,
Yeah, that's right.
which is a big deal. And I mean, I want to start by saying, like, this also, like, we started this soon after you joined
hmm
Torii or
hmm
rejoined Torii, I should say.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so
the comeback.
so it's
Yeah.
a so it's a good reminder for me too, like how fun a year it's been. It's
Yeah.
been really cool to kind of like not just, I mean, I know I just posted on my story about the whole consistency thing and what have you, and this has obviously been something we've been very consistent with,
Yeah.
but it's just one of the things we've been so consistent with over the last year. Like, obviously, we started coaching. We talk multiple times a week now. We hired
Mhm.
a VA that's been super exciting and what have you, and she's been an asset to the team. And we talk to her daily,
Yep.
and we've done a couple of events together, and we're committed to that. So there's been a
That's
lot of
right.
things that I think
Basketball,
we've
of
kept
course.
up. Basketball, of course,
Yeah.
outside of
Yeah.
work, um, but I think it's a reminder to me that, like, yeah, this is kind of like a one of the things that we've kind of like stuck to,
Yeah.
and and it's been a fun year.
It
So,
makes I
so I'm going to
I
start with
like
that.
the creative aspects of like needing to like no, we're not missing this, and then figuring out how to do it. You've been out of the country. I've been out of the country. There's been illness. There's been people not showing up. Uh, guess.
Tony, Tony,
Tony.
Tony.
Yeah. Oh, so with all that,
That's definitely one of the. Maybe let's start with that,
yeah.
Mike. Like, what are some of your most and by the way, anybody that ends up joining right now, it's just you and me, Mike. But like anybody that ends up joining, like, I really want to kind of hear, like, especially if they've listened to past episodes and what have you. Like, I want to hear kind of like what are some of their memorable moments, right? So let's start with you, Mike. What are some of your memorable moments? Obviously, the Tony one is near the top of the list.
Yeah.
Him showing up 25 minutes into the episode, the final 5 minutes talking about Miami and foundational issues. But like,
Still a great performance.
it is,
A
it is,
shortened
it
performance,
is.
but still a great one, and we love him, and that's why we
Of
make
course,
fun of him.
of
Uh,
course.
but yeah, on the location front, I mean, the first episode, I was down in the Cape, lucky enough to be down there, so had to like make sure the setup was there, and went to my girlfriend's family's house to do so, and that was enjoyable. And then times that we've been in the car because we're constantly obviously traveling. Doing the one, I was like, oh, I'm going to be in Kenya anyway. We might as well talk about something about like investment in foreign real estate and that. Man, yeah. When I think of like, usually I'm sitting here, but
Yeah.
the times that I'm not actually like gives it a little juice
Yeah,
at that point.
I think that's 100%. I think it's important,
Yeah.
right? To mix it up, but like, I think like the memorable stuff for me, yeah, well, definitely when you were in Kenya, when I was in
Yeah.
Mexico,
Oh yeah,
um,
that was great with the
you
hat.
know,
Yeah, that was a good.
yeah, yeah, right.
Can't
And
forget
then,
that.
like, I had the few when I was flying back and forth from Canada, right?
hmm
My in-laws are up there. We, you alluded to it, like, I thought that you staying so committed to the streak when I was deathly ill that week.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you
So
decided you're like, I'm gonna just go up there and talk to myself, even if nobody wants to join. And I thought that was pretty awesome too.
there was a very specific. This is high school, but there was a specific time where I had to like go up and they're like, okay, you're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance for this, like ending the year. It's like a student council thing or whatever. And they're like, we have the Pledge of Allegiance printed out for you. So do that and then you'll sit up, whatever. So I do it. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And then after the superintendent speaks, they're like, and now Mike Sokolowski has a few words to tell everybody. I was like, you didn't tell me that. You didn't tell me that part. You prepped the Pledge of Allegiance, but you didn't even say that I had a. So I was like,
Oh my God, I
guys,
love it. I
hope
love it.
everybody's
I
having a
love it.
good time.
Well, I want you to know I listened to that whole thing. So
Thank you. I hope you hallucinated. Well, yeah, and
yeah.
all that. So,
A few things, a few kind of like as I was prepping for this, and I did
yeah.
do a little bit of prep. So obviously we've had a lot of guests, right? You and I banter all the time, but like
Mhm.
we have plenty of other people join. Um, aside from, it's a few rapid fire questions for you. Aside from agents, other real estate agents, right? What type of profession did we have on the
Oh,
most?
we're doing trivia. Oh, I'm gonna say lender. I gotta say
I mean,
lender.
that's an easy one,
Yeah.
right? I think. But do you know how many?
4?
Five.
Shit.
So we had Pat,
Oh,
we
right.
had Mike,
Yep.
Mike Vautour, Jason.
Yep.
We had Craig and Hunter.
Hmm.
So I think it was five. And then, but like most everybody else, aside from agents, again, we'll talk about agents in a second too. We had like one of each, which I think it's important to. Lender is great because, like, it just goes to show like different even when we talk to clients, um, having discussions with multiple lenders is helpful. It's
Hmm.
like it's something that's like, and so getting their perspectives and like multiple different topics over the last year, I thought, not only do I think it was, I know it was helpful for a lot of the audience, it was helpful for me to just kind of like hear them out. And I remember explicitly Pat reminding us that, hey, first time homebuyer programs are a thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they still are.
I think
So,
that yeah. A part of this is just so like these conversations remind us of stuff that like there's so many things floating around. Something might be dormant for a while, and then exactly Pat comes on and starts talking about first time
yeah,
home buyer programs, and all of
exactly.
a sudden like it's I don't think it's a coincidence that there ends up being a client that could use one and now
Right.
is like enrolled in one, right? It's keeping top of mind is great and helps
100%.
us.
Um, from what country was our only international guest? You should know this.
Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Waleed, his fellow agent. He was awesome, and obviously he's done a really good job, not just with his business up there, but on social media. So follow him, Waleed Khan. Um, he's I believe with Keller Williams. Oh no, sorry, Century 21 up there.
In
Um,
Toronto.
how many viewers did our top IG live session get?
46.
So we were actually over 60,
Oh,
but
right. Well, I
but
did good.
which
Oh, Hannah.
IG live?
Hannah.
Hannah. Yeah, that
Yeah.
that yeah. I thought that session was going to be a hit. Right, we knew that one was going to drive a lot of traffic, a lot of people that were just genuinely just fascinated and interested by interior design. So that wasn't much of a surprise, I mean, it was so good, and there was so much good content. We split it up into two
Yeah.
reels.
Yeah. Worthwhile. I think it lent that type of conversation or that topic lends itself to this format as well. Sometimes when there's heavy data um, involved, and then you might need to like either rewatch something or read it and see
Yeah.
see the numbers or a graph or something like that.
Right.
So that Awesome. She was great. Thanks again for her help on our fresh event as
Yeah,
well.
follow
Great.
follow Hannah if you're interested in interior design. She's at Lawless Design. You can find her. She does an awesome job on social media as well. And again, she was an integral part of our latest client appreciation event at Fresh
Mhm.
Boston. The so in terms of so aside from the Hannah episode, right? What were some of your other favorite episodes? And
Yeah.
it could be a particular episode, or it could be kind of like a group of episodes, like with certain types of people, like whatever.
Yeah. Um, what sticks out to me? I mean, having to dress in costume was hilarious. So
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I enjoyed I
Yes,
enjoyed when we theme stuff. Have a little
that was
fun. I like that.
awesome. You remember how I brought I just showed the eyes
Yeah.
initially? That was
I
good.
good dude. It should be like a regular occurrence. That was great. I think like appraisals end up being like a a topic that people sort of hypothesize on, and they kind of don't know the down and dirty. And yeah, it's like an inexact science, but he was able to give us some guidelines for that and help us moving forward, and whoever was listening, just with
Yeah.
how they're valuing properties.
And I think the Bob example is actually really interesting because we prior to like maybe 2 weeks before that episode, we didn't even know him,
Yeah, right, right.
right? Like he was introduced to us by Hunter, one of our preferred lenders, and somebody
Mm.
we know and trust, uh, and Bob being a licensed appraiser and an agent, by the way, like his expertise, like you said, appraisals are such a black box. Like a lot of us don't understand, and like yeah, you see a report and all that kind of stuff. It's so confusing, so much information. Him being there to be like, look, yeah, like this is how we look at basement square footage, and this is how things are looked at in Greater Boston, street to street. Well, not Greater Boston, Boston, right? Because it's so different. Like bopping around from forget zip code, like within Boston, but literally you move over a street and everything's different in terms of
Hmm.
value. It was just helpful for him to explain things to us in a way that, like, he obviously lives and breathes it, both as an agent and as an appraiser. We as agents aren't privy to that kind of knowledge, and I thought that was that was one of the episodes I learned the most on.
Yes.
Was with him. So
Yeah.
I agree. One thing I wanted to add, because we're talking about Bob being both an appraiser and an agent, I think some of my favorite episodes were with agents.
Yeah.
Were even honestly just with you and me talking, right? Because like just an example, like Ash talking about zoning.
I that would be another episode that I really enjoyed and
So
learned.
so Ash, Ashmail Brun, you can follow him on Instagram as well. He's with Evo. He's part of the board of zoning appeals at and in Everett. Uh, awesome dude, and he kind of like the knowledge he was able to bring to us with his zoning background, but also as an agent, was like so interesting and so helpful. We could kind of like powwow on like things that we face with clients,
Mm.
which was great. Ilya, remember Ilya joining randomly on that marketing or
I
on the agent account IG live that we
that
had?
was one of my two. We did an episode about clown behavior, which was just like, okay, like what are some agents doing? Sometimes you have to point it out, right? Like we're not ones to badmouth anybody, but like the behavior needs to be discussed sometimes. And then I really liked that idea of like, let's just shout out people that we were on here.
Yeah.
We obviously see other people's, and there are some people that we're big fans of, and let's just shout it out. But yeah, the fact that he hopped on was a nice cherry on top of the whole
Yeah,
thing.
and that's what I love about IG Live too, is that we can be spontaneous. It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be overly planned. So if you're listening and you're thinking about some sort of way to kind of like reach more people or just get out there and be more active on your social media, whether regardless of the business, but for branding, like this is a great way to do it. Like, I mean, like we've pivoted this a couple of times, like in terms of what story time actually
Mhm.
is, and I think this has really been the best iteration because of the low amount of planning required, how consistent you can be,
Yep.
right, and how spontaneous you can be.
Yeah.
I think those three things, and Ilya jumping on was a prime example of that. We were talking about him on that live. He jumped on. He knew we were going to talk about him, and we invited him, and he was able to kind of share some of his thoughts, which was
Yeah, yeah. Once again, from the car, just like, oh, like,
from the
yeah, you
car.
take
Right.
this device right here, and you can be anywhere that there's self-service.
Right.
So
Right.
it's great.
We had another one of our agents on the team,
Rashid.
Rashid, join as well. You know, he's got a bright future ahead of him in the real estate game. So you know, it was great to kind of hear
Nice.
his thoughts on like, you know, where he's at, how he's building things up, what his mindset is, the challenges he's been facing. Again, like I think if you're an agent that like is really in this business and trying to learn from others, that was a very therapeutic one. Like it also was very nostalgic for me going back to when I was new agent and kind of the things that I was thinking through. So Rashid did an awesome job there.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that you always walk away from like feeling better. Like, you know, and you kind of forget it if you don't like. Sometimes you just like remember like, oh, there are those people, and those are the best kinds of people, man.
Yeah,
Just to yeah, you're
yeah,
like, oh man,
yeah.
I enjoyed that so much.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, the going back to memorable moments too, and now like it's not going to be as common because I try to do these before I pick her up from
Yeah.
daycare. But
Our
there's
that's our most recurring
yeah,
guest is Dua.
that's true. But those like two or three episodes where I'm just chasing her around the living room,
Yeah.
just like trying to like I'm like just making sure she stays alive was was quite the
Yeah.
experience. But we'll have to have her on soon enough. But now she's full on walking, so that's fun.
Okay. Right,
Um,
right on. Maybe we can have a race. I don't know.
or not. So Mike, let's in the next 10 minutes, let's talk about like the next
Yeah.
year, right? Like what do we envision for story time? Like are we so for example, one thought I had was more stuff like on site.
Hmm.
Like the like you and I like one of us does the live at one of our listings or at an event or at an inspection
Yeah.
or something like that, right? And I think that could be really helpful. But and I have a few other thoughts too. But what do you think?
Yeah. Um, for the next year, definitely the site piece because I think um, finding any like even though that this is a virtual discussion and both you and I are in different places, I think it's very different when we're in the same place and for the immersion aspect of viewers that you want them to feel viscerally something and to be on a new site and to be like exploring new space with you is going to add a nice dynamic in the future to this.
Right.
Um, I think we've, as you said, it's been a little spontaneous and everything, and we do plan these out. We schedule them out, but then we discuss the topic on Monday and make sure that we're prepped and everything. But to do maybe like have a shtick, have like a structure or like where we maybe get questions from the audience the week before and capture that, where we can then address those at the end. You know, a rapid fire round, something where you know it's a consistent like little piece of the live
I
each week.
actually
That's also what
really
I'm.
like that. I actually really like that because
Real
one
quick,
of the things, yeah,
Ryan Oppel, what's up? And that's another guy. And I'll just gonna pivot. Sorry, real quick, we'll get back to that. But like, what the places when people tell you that they're listening from a certain place, Ryan has said, "I'm cooking typically." when I'm watching this, and he's gone to Norwegian countries where he's out there for business, and they'll still tune in. So
Love that.
thank you for Ryan, and you.
Love it.
I think somebody's child listens to you as like a precursor to school or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Is that
I
true?
have a client. I have a client. They bought in Arlington last year. Uh, their daughter. Like we talked about the iterations of story time. Their daughter, obviously not on Instagram, but listens to the podcast version of, of story time regularly still. And like there's like a good like 30, 35 episodes of those. And like she listens to those. She's 5 years old. Like it's unbelievable. I mean, when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, you know. And so I think like, but like obviously she's listening to it with her parents and stuff like that. Her parents are supporting it. Like, dude, that gives you the feels,
Yeah,
you know. Like I love
dude.
that. I love that.
A tycoon in the making, and yeah, that's got to feel
100%,
special. Yeah.
100%, 100%. And I think what we were talking about too is like um, the, the like I think like being live with somebody too. Like there's been so many times when I'm like out in the field doing something, and I'm like, how do I best document this? And I
Hmm.
think the best way to document it is just freaking get live. Like just get live.
Get,
You know what I
get
mean?
live, bro.
Get
Just get
live.
live.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like I'm not saying it needs to happen every single time, but like I would say, especially when we're out there with guests,
Yeah.
like some of the people that we bring on to our lives frequently or semi-frequently or what have you, um, just do it in person. You know,
Yeah.
but then that also means the time gets switched up. We don't always do it. We don't always do it at 4:45, 4:30, 5 o'clock, whatever on Wednesdays. Which I do think that's something that like like looking at the next year, we probably need to think about switching that up a little bit.
Hmm.
So, and that's probably just going to happen by design if we actually do things a bit more live and in the field. So, um, but I'm excited for that.
Yeah. I welcome those
Um,
challenges. Yeah.
yeah, I want to broadcast like to that end, like broadcast like the big, small, the interesting moments, right? And it doesn't have to be the full half hour. It could be 5 minutes, um, and that's I think will be helpful too. We just need to start doing it, and then we'll get better and better at it because I think we're good at this,
Yeah.
but like there's ways to I think take it to another level, and I'm excited to do that over the next year.
I am too. Yeah. It's gonna be great. Um, yeah. What else do we got? What other moments that stand out to you? I'm trying to think of mine. Uh,
I think we covered them all.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's
Oh,
like,
making the AI
oh yeah,
graphics.
tell us about that.
A honestly, just a joy. Just like so fun. RIP can of soup, which is which is where we got
Wait,
our original.
can of soup is gone?
Yeah, that's why I've
It's
been
not like
making.
it's not like it's not like pivoting or like creating a new app or anything like that. It's just
Yeah,
gone.
they're making something different, but the picture
That
uh,
functionality is gone.
the picture functionality is gone. So
I
I've
see.
been like I've kind of made Frankenstein type graphics since that happened, where Chat GPT to Instagram copy and paste, and you sticker something onto something else. So I think like I don't know that element of it is has always been, and seeing like alternating each week and seeing what you're going to come up with, or what I could be
Yeah,
like.
yeah, and then I think my favorite part is the music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like layering on the music to go with whatever you're posting, and my music choice and is a very different than yours. So it's just like seeing kind of like the juxtaposition a little bit
Yeah.
is actually pretty
You
hilarious. So
need a Spotify premium. I don't know what the hell
I knew you were
you're
gonna
doing.
call me out on I knew you were gonna call me out on IG Live about that. I have Pandora Premium for some reason. I don't know why I don't have
No
Spotify.
one has that. Nobody has that.
I'm keeping them in business.
You just get
Um,
elevator music, like nobody even has rights to that anymore. Crazy.
it is
You
it
have
is it is a little
Pandora
crazy.
Premium. What
Yeah,
are you talking
I don't know. What are you talking about?
about? Yeah.
Oh
Oh
my
God.
God. Too much fun. Too
Uh,
much fun. Um,
that that kills
but
me.
um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm excited for the next year. I know you are too.
Yeah, dude.
We'll mix it up for everybody. The times, the doing it live and in the field and what have you, even at showings and stuff like that. Like I mean, I think we can have a lot of fun with it, and while at the same time having the same type of value for the people that jump on to all our tens and
And
tens of
tens of listeners and viewers.
Bob needs to be here for that one.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I should have brought my championship belt
Tens
slash
and tens.
and tens of listeners. It's great. Oh man, but
Oh,
yeah,
good
dude, the
stuff.
consistency has been great. Um, it helps me out in terms of thinking of other things to do. Just knowing that you have one thing under your belt gives you the confidence to go um, do other things and to tweak stuff and all that. And like um, the daunting weight of perfection will never be achieved. That's why we don't even. It's never been a discussion since day one. It's like let's just go do it and figure it out on the fly, and that's been like a real joy.
And you
Uh,
know what? Well, one last thing I want to add is it's even fun when I'm either out and about by myself or we're out together. This happened recently when we were playing basketball, right? Where somebody mentioned story time, either as a joke or as how you and I had some sort of kind of banter going on, and then Imran Moin goes, "Oh man, story time."
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, dude.
it's actually like kind of funny, becoming like a pseudo household name.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
like random kind of situations, and I think that's also feel good too, and I think that comes from the consistency. Like if it
yeah.
was a kind of a one time thing, or we're doing it once every 6 months or what have you, you're not going to get that. So yeah, I mean, more to come from Story Time. Excited to be on the ride with you, Mike, in like kind of making it bigger, better, and potentially even more consistent,
Mm.
depending on what we're doing out in the field. And we welcome feedback. So if this makes it to the snippet, please share feedback, because we want to hear like what people like, dislike, want to see more of, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, um, thanks for the last year, Mike, and more to come.
Thank you, sir. To PSA to all your friends making stuff. Yeah, if you reference it, it feels good, even in a joke format. It's quite
100%.
it's quite
100%.
nice. Yeah, man. Excited for the next year and appreciate you going on this journey and being my partner for that. So it's been wonderful.
He's Mike. I'm Saad. This is Story Time. 1 year.
1 year. Yeah.
Here's to the next
Woo,
one.
fake.
Let's go. To our tens and tens of fans worldwide.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh man,
We'll see you
awesome.
next
Thanks
week.
everybody. Bye. See
Obviously.
you
All right. Bye, sir.
later.